This week on the Big Room, they did when they were lancing, they did fill them with like pasta to get them to like shatter.
I want to see now. I want to watch the movie and like look for macaroni and bow ties.
Well, I'm sure it was like, linguine. So
linguine.
A nice flat noodle, so you can't tell. I don't know what kind of accent.
I wonder how.
Welcome back to the Big Room. It's a new month.
It is.
It's April.
Happy April.
It's the month that your sister was born in.
And it's her name.
It's her name. Elfie was born in
Elfie
April?
was born. Our dog was born in this month.
It's on the floor.
Wait, she was born in April and they named her April?
No.
Yes.
Good thing she wasn't born in December.
Isn't that original?
They did it. They were going to name her April, but I don't know what's worse. Is it worse to be like, oh, you were born in April and your name's April? Or if you were born in March, like, oh, if you were only born like a week later, then your name would have been the same, like.
Yeah.
I think you lose on either side of that one.
Yeah, whatever.
Don't name your kid April. I don't know.
This is when the baby Jesus came back from the dead in April. Not really. We watched a movie. Oh, it's Sword Month. That's what I wanted to say. It's April. We're doing Sword Month, eloquently named by Carl. I refuse to take blame for that.
And to start, we watched a movie with almost no swords.
No swords.
There were some swords.
There were some
one
swords.
sword contest and it's like, swords are dumb. Immediately.
I want glory or nothing.
I promise the next couple movies have more swords. Kinda.
Joust?
Hopefully.
Than this one.
What is it? Lances are kind of like just really big swords.
No,
Yeah, they are.
It's true. We never defined sword.
They aren't because they don't have an edge.
They never defined
The defining thing of a sword is an
when
edge.
you crush the little hand on top, there's a
That's a
pointy
point,
edge.
not an edge. You wouldn't slice your ham with an arrow.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. This movie, A Knight's Tale. Did we say that? That's what we watched.
That's what we watched.
That's what we're saying it now.
We watched A Knight's Tale starring Heath Ledger. The movie released on May 11th, 2001. A big year for 11ths.
Wow.
But before we talk about that, first we must do the news. In the news this week, Timothée Chalamet, our boy, the new wonder child of Hollywood.
Yes, he is.
He signed a first look deal with Warner Brothers. The deal came off of the back-to-back. No foghorns there. Learn context for foghorns. Jesus wept. Deal comes off the back-to-back success of Wonka and Dune Part 2. He's the first actor in over 40 years to have two top-grossing films with 8 months of each other. Can you guess who the previous one was?
I looked it up.
John Travolta.
You had us read the article. We all
Here's
read
the thing.
about this.
It's John Travolta with Grease and Saturday Night Fever.
And if Dune didn't get delayed, he wouldn't have had that.
Ooh.
That's true. Well,
Wait.
no, it still would have been within... No. Wouldn't have.
What's the time frame?
8 months.
8 months.
Yeah.
No.
There you go.
Wait.
So what does this deal mean?
It doesn't. Okay, no more.
It doesn't matter.
So it's essentially it gives Warner Brothers the right of first refusal for Chalamet's future projects, meaning that Chalamet will
like
be
a retainer fee a little bit.
Yeah, he'll be a collaborator as an actor and producer. So if he wants to do a film, he takes it to Warner Brothers first. They get to go yay or and then he can shop around. It does not restrict him from acting for other studios, so he can still act wherever.
Which I feel like Warner Brothers is pretty good. They
Warner
do like
Brothers
Barbie. They seem to be investing in sets and no.
They're the
did
worst
Dune.
company in entertainment right now.
But they did Dune and like a lot of the big movies of last year.
Yeah, but their business making decisions, I think the person in charge at Warner Brothers Discovery's diet consists mostly of super glue.
Oh.
And mostly of sniffing it. Like he's
That's
an
what you gotta do.
absolute idiot. These are the people that took the HBO out of Max. What the hell?
Yeah, all right.
The worst people in the world. And this means that it is only a matter of time before Timothée Chalamet's career is ruined by being in a DC movie.
No. So, speaking of his career, he's currently filming a Bob Dylan biopic movie.
Yes. I hate Bob Dylan.
It's only a matter of time.
I get Bob Dylan and Bob Marley confused.
That's the worst thing you've ever said.
So I saw this fact and I was like, why is Timothée Chalamet playing a black man?
Since the revisionist.
Robert Downey Jr. all over again.
There's also a Bob Marley biopic happening too, though.
Oh,
I don't know why those two people are the same in my head.
Nope.
I know
Can't
that
deal with
they're
multiple
not.
Bobs.
I know that they're not, but
Damn them for having the same first name.
I mean, Bob is a really unique name. You know, you think I could keep them straight.
Speaking of unique names, Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's a unique name. He had surgery. He's one step closer to becoming a Terminator. He had a pacemaker put in. Man is 76 years old. He said, last Monday I had surgery for a pacemaker and became a little more of a machine.
Aww.
At least
Dumb.
he's having fun with it.
Now, in Danielle news, The Bachelor wrapped its 28th
Bachelor.
season this Monday. This show is 28. This show's
Applause.
22 years old. It first premiered in 2002.
Yes, it is.
Insane.
multiple seasons a year.
Yeah, apparently.
That's awful.
No. So it's just one Bachelor a year. Like 5 years after The
then you have
Bachelor, we had The Bachelorette, which is different. I mean, it's the same but different.
So this year's Bachelor, of course, was Joey Graziadei. Graziadei. Man's got too many vowels in his name.
He's Italian.
He chose Kelsey Anderson. Runner-up was Daisy Kent, and the final two rode together in a limousine to the finale, which is apparently a
it's a
big
huge.
deal.
It's a big deal.
It's
Why?
never happened before.
Okay, let me explain the final rose.
You've explained this to me like 3 times, and it still doesn't make any sense.
So no, the final. So you get down to your final two, right?
Yes.
So they set up the Bachelor or the Bachelorette in the proposal spot. They have their final rose and their ring to propose with.
Yes.
So usually 2 cars. Like once you get to the once you get to the end, the final like 3 or 4 people, 2 people don't see each other. So the loser arrives in a car first to get broken up with.
Yes.
So whoever comes first is the loser.
But they came together.
But they came together because they are
And then what?
friends. I mean, she still got broken up with, but they got to hold hands and be supportive
That's
of each
why I
other.
don't understand. I looked at Twitter, and they were absolutely shitting their pants over them writing.
This
the-
has never happened
It's
before.
never happened. Listen, every year they say the most dramatic, something we've never seen before. And this year, I mean, we haven't seen it before. So
Stupid.
listen, this Bachelor, he is
Wow.
a king. We will never have a Bachelor as good as him ever again. He was amazing.
Although, speaking of good bachelors, the next Bachelorette is Jen Tran, and she's all right.
She's all right.
I don't know who that
Everybody,
is.
She's very pretty.
she's very pretty. She's our first Asian American Bachelorette in like 20 years. 20 years.
Yes.
All no Asian women.
All not Asian.
I was gonna say all white women. There
No.
have been several black women, but still, it's like
Good for them.
it's like 3 to 18. You know,
I did like that in the Wikipedia when I was looking all this up. It like had the Bachelor, the winner, the runner-up, and then their relationship status, and it was like still together as of March. It's still March.
yeah. I mean,
not
in
a high
Bachelor
bar.
in Bachelor time,
As of
that's forever.
It's 100 years.
The track record isn't great.
I have one more news piece. It's my favorite news piece, which is why I saved it for last. There's a new show. Martin Scorsese, my least favorite director in the world, is doing a new show on Fox Nation.
That's the station you want.
It's called Martin Scorsese Presents: The Saints. Subjects include Joan of Arc, John the Baptist, and Mary Magdalene. Scorsese joins other renowned Fox Nation contributors such as Roseanne Barr, Piers
God.
Morgan, and Tommy Lauren, who are all dreadful. This is the worst. It's the
listen.
worst people in America.
When I first
And
read
Martin
that,
Scorsese says, "I would like some of that."
I didn't initially hate the idea until you mentioned Roseanne Barr.
Yeah. That's where her comedy
all of
special is.
them
Her comedy special
same network.
is on
It's not a great
Fox
company.
News or Fox Nation.
Ew.
I'm not
But he did The Last Temptation of Christ.
a
which
movie that
apparently
everybody hated.
Oh, I rememred it for the opposite reason.
No, and that movie was
Everyone hated?
It was universally
I mean, it was William
panned
Dafoe's.
and boycotted by evangelicals because it explored elements of Christ's sexuality.
Oof.
They didn't like that
I mean, he was fully man.
because, as we know in the Bible, it says Jesus doesn't have a penis. I don't know who
He's like
this
a
show's
Kendall.
for, actually, because at least
Who
in
is this show's-
my
yeah.
experience, the Fox News evangelical crowd isn't interested in saints because they refer to it as, quote, that Catholic crap.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. What I don't know. Martin Scorsese, you're an idiot. Now, it's the end of the news. It's time to talk about A Knight's Tale. I said before,
movie.
2001. The movie follows Heath Ledger, as William Thatcher, a squire to a knight, Sir Ector, who's alive in the show for all of 0 seconds.
0 minutes.
He illicitly poses as a knight himself to compete in jousting contests in an effort to change his fate.
Change his stars.
Well, yeah, whatever. But it's a fate. It had mixed reviews, this movie. It holds a 7 out of 10 on IMDb and a mere 59% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes. And I do
Seems
only
really low.
reference the critic score because I don't care about audience scores because most people are stupid. Although,
But what
I
is
would
it?
be one of
Critics
the
are people.
stupids because I like this movie. This movie's my fault. Had you seen it before I made you watch it?
Yes. I watched
Wow.
it with my dad. Aww.
I was shown this movie by Brandon.
Shout out to Brandon.
And we watched it many times because it's very funny. I enjoyed this movie a lot. I think it's good. I was in a thread on Threads today, threads.net.
As you do.
As I do. And someone was like, what's that? List your perfect movies. And someone posted this one. And-
Perfect?
And I reported them to the authorities because this is not a perfect movie, but it is a good one. I think. I think it's a good movie.
It's not. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's
No,
not bad.
it's not perfect. I don't think it's bad. I think it's not a 59% critic score. I don't know why the critics are so angry.
It wasn't artsy
It's got
enough.
Paul Bettany in it, for
It
God's
wasn't
sakes.
artsy enough.
You know, there wasn't enough.
Now, the
savage.
They just didn't
soundtrack,
like the
Emotions.
modern music. Yeah.
Dude,
the soundtrack is unhinged. It's hilarious. It's very 2001.
It's so ridiculous.
I hated the opening scene.
Low
with
rider
Queen.
for
Yeah, you
oh,
would
really?
because you don't know how to
What?
have fun.
What,
When you watch a movie, you're just like, I don't get it.
bro? What have you've criticized something for having music not of its time?
Yeah, I criticized Django Unchained, which isn't a comedy movie that's trying to have
okay,
fun.
that's fair.
This is a comedy movie, and you
Yeah,
have
but
Queen
to
in it.
have a group of people,
Do you think the soundtrack to Shrek is bad?
I don't know enough about that.
Oh, you haven't seen Shrek?
Like,
I mean, I know I technically have.
All right, get out.
The memory is not there.
Get out. If
Go
We should watch
Shrek
it.
right
this
now.
movie is a lot like Shrek. It came out the same year. It has a similar feel. The soundtracks are similar. I mean, cut and
no, it
paste
came out
Queen
the
with
same year.
Smash Mouth.
Yeah. I read a thing that the director said he picked this kind of music to help elicit more of an emotional response from us because we wouldn't have as much excitement attached to like some
Flute
medieval
music.
flute music. Yeah.
Dumb.
So he was trying to emphasize the feelings of the movie.
That makes me
Also,
like it more.
who
Yeah.
hates Queen?
Queen's
not
great.
saying-
There's like
Queen.
an interview too where it's like, what music would you recommend? And it's like, violin. It's like, well, that wasn't invented for 300 years, so what's another 300? So we can just go
Ooh.
ridiculous.
You might as well put
That's
Queen in
crazy.
it. And
Yeah.
AC/DC to close it out. Come on. It's a good soundtrack.
The low rider for the training sequence was ridiculous.
that was-
Like, so funny.
good.
Yeah.
It's good.
This was like the perfect kind of camp in the way that
Yes.
the remake for Dalton's movie just
like this
did
soundtrack.
not work.
What
Yeah.
what a muppet.
This
we
was
should
the
get
perfect camp.
I need to get a dunce hat.
Oh,
Just for you. Like whenever you say something like that, you get to wear a big cone.
No, I get to put it on you
that
then
goes
too.
no, because this isn't.
You never say
this,
any-
This
Shut
is
up.
not a democracy. This is a dictatorship.
God.
I am the king.
quit.
Look at my little chair. I liked that the characters clap and sing along. I would not have liked it if that took place 3/4 of the way through the movie.
Right. It's only in the intro.
Or like during a jousting. It's just during the
Yeah.
intro. Literally, people's names are on the screen. You might as well have someone with a big horn do the guitar solo at the end of "We Will Rock You." That's
Speaking of the
hilarious. That's
They-
objectively funny. It's so funny.
They just stopped playing the horns. I was like, oh yeah, that's what the sound came from.
Exactly.
Like, okay.
It's good.
It was so ridiculous.
It gets you ready for the
Yeah.
insane movie you're about to
It's
watch.
a perfect tone setter.
Full of historical figures,
True.
played by Paul Bettany. I love Paul Bettany. Speaking of Shrek, this movie feels a lot like that. I already said that. Now, the plot is something.
I think it's a good plot.
It is a fate-changing movie. Those are always endearing because you
Yeah.
like to see the.
You always want to root for the underdog,
Yes.
the poor man trying to come up.
Let him rise up. He pulls himself up by his bootstraps. Something that's not possible in
Something
America, but
we-
may have been possible in feudal England.
It's probably more possible now than it was then.
I don't know.
I don't know. Something we commented on. It was nice to watch a movie where they pretty much get to succeed throughout
For most of the movie.
most of the movie, and like only the bad thing only happens in the last like 20 minutes, and we get a pretty quick
Like
resolution.
there
a good
are
point.
are minor struggles. My armor doesn't fit. My armor's broken. You know, this guy has a gambling problem. He keeps getting caught up in it. I've never jousted before. I suck at it. Let's have a training
can't
montage
dance.
to lowrider and think about George Lopez. I can't dance. My love interest wants me to lose this tournament that my entire group has bet a lot of money on against some Frenchists. And now she wants me to win it to prove my love or whatever. Like they're all little struggles.
Yeah.
And then we save the big one because we do have. Now I feel like I say ball and lots of balls in the air all the time, but we have a ball that we're waiting to drop, and that
up there.
he's just up there, just hanging. He's lying about
Being
his birth.
knight.
Yeah. So
Right.
essentially the crux of the plot is you can only compete in these games if you are of nobility,
noble blood.
noble blood, and he lies.
Classic.
So he's a squire for this knight who is in the middle of a jousting tournament and for some reason decides to go to the woods
He gets to take a
And
little
die.
break.
Yeah.
and he croaks.
They never really explain how.
But he's mid-tournament. Why was he in the woods?
Maybe
Yeah.
he just needed a breather.
Maybe needed to take a wee.
Or wash
He
his
got
face
hit.
in the river? I don't know.
Maybe he got hit too hard.
He's
Needed to
completely
Maybe.
take a breath.
He got CTE and just
And then
wandered
he
into the river.
Took his last.
So our boy William puts his armor on and is like, I'll just pretend to be him, and then wins the tournament. They get their money. They're going to go home. And then William's like, well, what if we changed our own fates?
What if
Kept
we
doing
did
this.
it?
This 13 silver, whatever, is enough to train for a couple weeks, and then we'll enter the next tournament and keep progressively getting richer. And that's what they do. That's the movie. In a nutshell. And then, and at the with 40 minutes left in the movie, the ball drops of he's outed as
Yep.
not a noble, which is cool. This movie reminds me a little bit of another movie we're going to watch later in Sword Month, which is interesting. Plot wise, you know the one maybe. No spoilers. Let's see. A man can change his stars. Yeah, that's the line that we get. It's this movie's version of The Brave. Change your fate.
You had a chance to change your fate. Brave is stupid.
That movie
Boo.
sucks. If you like Brave, you are
You're
stupid.
are wrong.
Classic some struggle. That's what I said. Oh, I liked a line from the beginning where William goes, I've waited my whole life for this moment. And one of the dudes goes, you've waited your whole life for Hector to shite himself to death? Which is good. Now, after the lowrider training scene, I believe the best character in the entire movie gets introduced, which is Paul Bettany's character. He's amazing. He's naked. I appreciate his nakedness more than Conor McGregor's in the last film we watched.
It's way funnier.
Way funnier. God, he's just a good character. I forget what his character's name even is.
Jeffrey Chaucer.
Yeah, he's the he's the historical figure, one of the two.
He wrote the Canterbury Tales.
There is a piece of the Canterbury Tales called A Knight's Tale, and
It's
that
the
is
first chapter.
That's what this is loosely based on. That's where the title comes from, and other plot points are stolen from the Canterbury Tale. Borrowed.
Apparently there's like a 6-month gap in that guy's life, in real life, where no one really knows what he was up to. And this movie is kind of a way
was
to
out
explain that
jousting.
6-month gap.
Yeah, he was out lying and gambling,
Yeah.
I mean,
which is good.
could be.
Now, Jocelyn. Let's talk about Jocelyn.
Jocelyn.
As far as the damsel goes,
Boo.
yeah.
I'll say it because I'm a lady, so I can be judgmental about
I'm
ladies.
not allowed to say this.
For the hot lady of the movie, I don't think she's that hot.
No.
And the costume department didn't help make her hot.
No.
They put her in some weird hats.
She's got like
weird, funky hair pieces.
her first thing is like weird fake Princess Leia hair, but it's in a white hat that's got a third lump over here.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought she was like a
But her friend
one of
wasn't
those
any better.
nuns or something.
No,
No.
she wasn't. But she's not supposed to be this like, oh, angel divine, my love. I was like,
Yeah.
She's not unattractive, but
like
she's just.
He's doing all this for a 6.
Oh man.
Now, and the actresses, it's Shannon with a Y. Nope.
Boo.
Sossamon.
What?
Whoa, Saruman.
That's her name. It's her first movie.
Really?
I thought her performance was great.
Yeah, she did fine.
Did she do anything else?
Her first.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. But this is her first like
Shannon's.
actual theatrical film,
Good for her.
which is interesting.
Oh, she's in a bunch of horror stuff.
Yeah, she's in creepy, spooky stuff that we'll never watch because. My favorite scene happens right after we meet her. Basically, they go to the church and he rides his horse into the church, and the preacher guy's like, "You desecrate the house of God," and that's amazing. And then they have some back and forth, and the way he ends the conversation by just walking away and doing some Latin chant is my favorite thing. Brandon and I used to yell, "You desecrate the house of God," and then sing the like, as we laugh. We would do that bit for hours. We would be sitting in silence playing Call of Duty, and he would just go, "Kratos!" It's the best. So good. So it's like my favorite part of the movie, and it happens in the first 25 minutes.
Yeah, I remember we watched it when we were dating. That happened, and you're like, all right, I'm over this now. And
Yeah.
I was like, I still want to watch the rest of the movie.
An hour and a half left.
Yeah, there's still so much movie
It's
left.
a long movie, 2 hours 20.
It is a little
Was
long.
it really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 2 hours 20. It's a
Wow.
bit long-winded. I like a
Pacing
2-hour
is pretty
film.
good
Pacing is
for the most part.
So that's what I wanted to ask. She actually brought my point up like 45 minutes too early.
Oh, sorry.
As far as the big, tensious moment happening with 20 minutes to go almost, what did y'all think about that pacing wise? I really enjoyed it because it let 90% of the movie be kind of lighthearted and fun. And
Yeah.
then a little bit of an, oh no. And then that is resolved really quick. It's resolved in 10 minutes.
And I think that works
barely an
because
inconvenience.
there are like multiple like there's the romantic stuff, there's the comedy stuff, there's his background stuff. Like there's multiple different things that are all fleshed out really well. There's
Yeah.
not like a loose, weird, like off story. Like everything's really well written, so it didn't require, I think,
and it's all believable.
anything more than just a 5-second.
And
Oh
it's-
no, we're in trouble.
I like too that we had like William had his like R2 and 3PO with him, like the other two squires, Alan Tudyk and what's his face, the other
Oh,
guy
I
whose
don't-
name
I
is
don't
something
know.
or another.
The pirate from Dodgeball.
Carl, have you seen Dodgeball? I haven't. Seen Dodgeball.
The guy who wants to be a pirate in Dodgeball. That's his.
Mark Addy. His name is Roland in the movie, and then
Oh no! Sorry, other guy.
Alan Tudyk is Watt
Yeah.
in the movie. He is excellent as well. He played K2SO in Rogue One. They're really like Watt plays great comic relief. Like he wants to fight everybody and is like almost foaming at the mouth, like radical maniac.
Like feral. Yeah.
Using the word fong.
Yeah, I'm
And I
gonna
was
fong
like,
you.
was
you.
that like
Fong
a
you.
medieval word? I've never heard that
No
before.
idea. Or
they
British
just-
slang. Like
yeah.
there's a lot of British slang in this movie.
I think it was like kick or something like that. I
Something.
heard something
Yeah.
about or there may be like mixed reviews on what it actually means, but
And then Roland is like the older, more wizened,
wizened.
but still a goofball.
he's the mom.
He's the mom. He's Trip Mom. Yeah.
Yeah.
He stitches his tunic for him out of the tent.
Yeah.
And then
Aw.
they
Yeah,
pick
they
up
made a
like the
tunic.
female blacksmith who's like the man of the group.
She's
almost.
awesome.
Like, she's a stereotype kicker. And then Paul Bettany, who's like the face man. Like he's a professional
heart of the group.
liar,
Yeah.
embezzler. He's a romantic. He's the best character in the
All
whole
of his
bloody
speeches
movie.
were so
so.
great. Yeah, his energy was perfect. Yeah.
His
Oh my
freaking
god.
openers for each of the not fights.
I mean, the
whatever
one
you
for
call
the
them.
sword duel, the very first one he does, right after he gets saved from the Is it right after he gets saved from the gambling scheme?
Right before or after.
right
around
before
then.
because they used the winnings to.
Right, but I think it's before because he tells them like release him, you'll get your winnings.
Yeah, I
If
think
you-
he does like this monologue. It's like a gratuity thing.
Right.
Like a thank you for saving me.
Right, so he does this whole monologue to boneyard silence, and there's a shoot reason for that, which Danielle read to me last night. I had no idea.
Yeah.
heard about this,
So they used a bunch of extras from the Czech Republic, so they didn't speak English, so they didn't know when to cheer.
Bettany does this whole long speech to silence because they don't speak the language.
So Roland cueing them to start cheering was like a real thing that happened. He
That's
really had
awesome.
to cue
That's-
all the extras. And they were like, let's
That's
reshoot this.
insane.
But they were like, no,
Yeah.
it's way funnier.
No,
So
that's
leave it
great.
as it
he
is.
just goes.
Also, don't you
They-
think somebody stopping talking after that kind of like gravitas? Don't you think that's the end? That's your cue?
Well,
like,
you would
why?
think. I
Is
don't
it
know.
really-
Who knows? Maybe they had expected to shoot the cheers after a cut.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Or if I don't know. Either way.
The
It's insane that it happened like that. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
the extras were also homeless people from the Czech Republic.
Oh.
They
I don't know how
gave
to
him a
feel
job.
about that.
They gave him a job. It's great.
Yeah. Wow.
Go stand over here. Here's some money.
It's their own little. It was their own little Knight's Tale.
Oh.
Their own little lifestyle.
They changed their stars.
Can you say that?
I don't know.
Now, there's a
us
chief
know in the
villain.
comments.
Our antagonist is Count Adamar, played by Rufus Sewell. Is that how you say it?
Frizzy hair. I don't know what his name is. We're
He's
calling
got a
him
good.
frizzy hair.
He's got a good jaw. And there's a line that I really liked in their first jousting duel. It's after he wins the sword tournament and is like, I don't want to do any sword tournaments because it's not as much money. And the flash and the panache is all with the joust. So that's what he wanted to do, even though he was better at the sword. So he does the joust and wins a couple and then immediately runs into this Count Adamar character who is like the guy. He's got the black armor. He's got the all black horse. He's got the scary fist on the tip of his lances. He's got modern armor. William is in old school armor with like a shield on his shoulder because the armor was just crapper, I guess. More old fashioned. And they kind of are drawn, like they keep tying in the beginning. And there's a line where first we go to Adamar and he says, no style whatsoever about William and says, but neither does an anvil. Like an anvil doesn't have any style either. Basically being like, I can't, I'm just hitting him. And then they immediately goes to William and he says, he strikes like a hammer. So we have a hammer and anvil, unstoppable force, immovable object kind of dichotomy that's presented through those two lines. And I loved that. I thought that was very well written.
Poetry.
Because they basically gave us, again, unstoppable force, immovable object without beating us over the head with it. We got an anvil line. We got a hammer line. It's awesome.
They're showing us the evidence as well.
Yeah, because the anvil line comes from, like, he expounds upon that either earlier or later by saying, like, he's fearless, basically, because the slits in their helmets, like, splinters can fly through that from when the lance breaks, and most jousters lift their head at the last second, and William doesn't. He's just a plane crash the whole way through because he's fearless and unskilled. It reminded me of like poker, like when you play someone who hasn't played Texas Hold'em before, and they are going to kick your ass in a lot of instances, especially, I mean,
That
we're just
don't make any
right.
sense.
We're just crappy house players. So like I remember David playing with us and I got really tilted because I'm playing
days.
smart poker and I couldn't get a bluff through. Well, this is when we were poker obsessed. Like we were playing multiple times a week and we were playing in VR all the time. And I got pretty good at getting bluffs through on you guys. And David, he just called everything because he had no idea what he was doing, basically. And that plays in your favor. I don't mean to disparage David by saying he had no idea what he's doing, but he did murder me and took $5 of my dollars. So
We'll never recover.
he can stroke that $5 bill while I tell him he sucks at poker and he only beat me because he was new.
Got him.
So no,
So
it's a
got
similar
him.
thing, I guess. I mean, I don't know if that really scans over to jousting. We don't really do that.
Sure.
There was a jousting thing that happened like 10 or 15 years ago. Guess what? A lot of people got hurt.
Jousting?
Yeah, they did like
they tried to joust?
Yes.
No. I have a hard time watching the jousting scenes because I just feel like it would be so painful.
Yes.
Like how they would all be just so injured with
We
their
should-
little shoulders.
we should
Well-
bring it back and do it with segways.
That's
Oh my
not
God, yes.
sexy.
It'd be quite easy
Like
to
Paul
fall
Blart.
off and not hurt yourself. Just do a Segway
Oh
jousting.
my
Lower
Or
the
like
ground.
one like
Yeah.
like the hoverboard so that you don't have the stick in the way. Or maybe it'd be good to hold on to the handles like it's reins and then you've got your pool noodle.
Absolutely not. There's no glory in that. You're not looking glorious on a Segway or a
call
hoverboard.
it-
You don't know me.
Jousting?
E-joust.
I
Boo.
hate that.
Hover joust. Jouster.
They
Hover
did when the
joust.
lances,
Joust board.
when they were lancing, they did fill them with like pasta to get them to like
Shatter.
shatter. Yeah,
Because it looked
pasta.
like a really light,
Yeah.
I heard
shiny
it was
wood.
balsa. It
Like
was,
balsa.
Well,
that's
it
what I
was like
gonna
they
say.
used a light wood, they slitted it, they made it hollow, and then they put
So
pasta
they basically
in it.
corked them like
Yeah.
bats of people who cheat in the 90s in baseball. Like
Yeah.
they would drill the middle of the bat out and fill it with cork so it was lighter. And then they
Interesting.
always got caught because you remove mass so the bats explode. And then when they explode, they shower everybody in cork, and then they go, "You're out of here." And yeah, that's what they were doing with pasta. It's interesting.
Huh.
I want to see now. I want to
wonder-
watch the movie and like look for macaroni and
See
bow
if you-
ties.
well,
to fly
I'm sure
around.
it was like, linguine. So,
Oh, linguine.
a nice flat noodle so you can't tell. I don't know what kind of accent.
I wonder how heavy the armor was in real life that he was wearing. Like, did they do like any?
Like, was it metal first of
Yeah.
all, or was it like foam that was
Yeah,
Ooh.
it looked. I mean, it was convincing.
ILM
It was
to look
convincing.
all metal?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like the costuming was really good because I feel like it felt right. Like it wasn't like fully historically accurate, but it also just felt right and
It's just enough to where you buy it.
yeah.
And
It
I
was
think
really good.
that is
That's really the
helped-
whole movie.
Well, it's helped a lot by the tone they set in the beginning with the thing you hated, with the soundtrack and whatnot. You immediately go, all right, this isn't a historical drama. This is
Right.
going to be a
I'll
fun
give you
movie. And then it's backed up by, we meet naked Paul Bettany and Alan Tudyk beats the shit out of him on the side of the road. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But it's like, we do have the heartstring pulls. We have the romance story. We have we linked up with blind dad who's blind now, and that's all sad.
dude.
Oh my god,
Has
that's
he
the
followed his feet?
That scene, yeah, whenever he gets back to his dad in the house, I was like, I did not expect to cry at this movie.
Did you cry?
Yeah.
I got a little teary. And when he realized it was his son,
Emotional
God.
damage for Nickel.
Yeah, the acting. That
Come on, you
dad
didn't get a little
does
teary?
is- Oh my god!
Me?
But when it turns to his face and he's crying, he's like, "Hey, did he change his stars?" And he's like, "He did." He's like, "Oh."
yeah, see, he gets
It's like,
it.
is he
And that's
fucking
what he did, 'cause-
I was like, "Oh my
So
god!"
you can't see him, but it's like, he remembers telling him to change his
Yeah.
stars.
Oh my god!
saying that
Yeah,
he could
you
in
just
that
you just see
line.
this
Only
guy
my
just like
son would know
looking
that.
out into nothing, just hoping on hope, and then he gets the hope that he wanted.
And then he realizes that name I've been hearing
Did
is
he-
my son.
Did he
Yeah.
follow his
Oh
feet?
my god!
too? Did he follow his feet? Was the confirmation. So like
So
he
good.
fed him the stars.
You can
line.
he
got back
you can
to
see it
follow
on
his
his
feet.
face
Oh,
when
it's
he's
so
starting to
good.
clue it together that I think I know who I'm talking to, and you're just like, "Fuck."
So you cried. Did you get emotional with that scene,
Yeah, a little bit.
Carl?
I didn't get like
The
full
other one,
teary,
oh yeah,
but-
and
I
the
didn't-
other
I
one.
didn't
Well,
get
once you
tears
get older,
either.
you start to find moments to cry. But the other one is when he was
wanna
like, "That's
feel
your
something.
name. Your father's heard your name. They're cheering." I was like, "Fucking A."
Yeah.
I didn't
It's like,
cry.
you just do the
sadly.
thing where you look up and you start blinking, trying to keep him from falling.
I don't have any feelings.
I guess this is the fourth time I've seen this, but I don't know.
True.
I only cry for Leia's theme in Star Wars
Oh yeah.
every
There it is.
time.
There it is.
It's true.
Just because the dad took such a gamble sending the son out and it worked.
Well, that's the thing, though.
Like-
That's what you did. Is you you apprentice your kids off.
Yeah.
So
sad.
it was like
Although,
it was basically
why
like
didn't he-
I want to give him a better life than being a Thatcher because that's I guess
Yeah.
so basement class. Which now I follow on TikTok people who thatch roofs.
Yeah, it's pretty
in
cool.
England, and it's pretty badass. But he got to be under a knight, and like the knight is who asked him how strong he was and was going to keep him safe, and it was neat.
But why didn't he go looking for his dad earlier? He just thought he died first. I mean,
Well,
that's,
'cause he
it's kind
did-
of the same reason as like the night in the beginning. Why did he go out into the woods? It's probably just
It's
the
'cause
answer
he
would ruin
didn't-
the movie. But
He didn't have Pippin to guide him to Buckleberry Ferry to go across the river into the village of Bree.
Or money. I don't know. Can you just leave your night? Do nights give
understood none of
vacation
that.
I guess
time?
yeah, you probably couldn't leave the night.
The chain thing across the Thames reminds me of a scene in Fellowship of the Ring where the hobbits run from the Nazgul by crossing Buckleberry Ferry.
Soon I'll understand that.
Yeah, we'll have to plan when we watch Lord of the Rings. But it's not this
what
day.
else?
What about the prince? I really liked his character.
Yes, so the Prince, I spent the first hour plus of the movie. It's Colville is his disguise name.
Yeah.
He's Prince Edward, correct?
Yeah.
Son of King Edward or some crap.
I know it was Prince Edward. I
Anyway.
don't know who his dad was.
played by
Whatever.
James Purefoy.
Some king.
And I spent
Great
the
actor.
first hour going, where do I know James Purefoy from? I was looking at his IMDb. I'm looking at his Wikipedia. Nothing. I recognize the face, not quite the voice, because he puts on a different accent from his normal speaking voice. And then it hit me like a ton of bricks. And I started dying laughing on the couch because I know him from season 2 of The Wine Show.
Blind Child. I've never even heard of that.
Carl watched with me when
I
he
might
was
have seen
here.
that episode. Yeah, because I was like, why does that guy look so familiar?
He's in.
Oh my
He
God.
replaces Matthew Reese in season 2 and 3 of the Line Show, alongside Matthew Good.
Matthew Good.
Which
know-
Joe Fattorini hosts the Line Show. It's a great show. I don't know if you can watch it these days. I don't think it's on. It's probably on Pluto TV or something small. It used to be on Hulu. If you're into wine, it's a good show.
I'm not. I
It'll
recognize
get you in
him
one.
from The Following, which is a great show starring Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon's a good guy. He's the bad guy. It's great.
Never heard of it, actually.
Would recommend.
All right. What's it on? Great. Now, there's a couple things I missed. One big thing I missed that you brought up, a fun little fact that's kind of right in front of my face that I whiffed, is that they make his tunic for the dance out of the tent.
Oh, yeah.
I liked that.
I've never caught that before. I didn't caught that
catch
until
it
this
either.
time. I was like, oh wait,
That's
Oh,
why-
is he like looking at the tent?
That
in
he's
this-
looking
Yes.
at the tent. That's why he's ripping green with
And
lighter green.
Lighter-
Because he's going, we have to cut this tent up and use it as the tunic.
which
I didn't catch that. That's great.
who
good.
made it? Did he make it?
He made it, yeah. During
for him.
During the dance scene where he's trying to, Paul Bettany's character is trying to teach William to dance, he's sitting there stitching it.
No way.
Yeah, in the background. Making
Shocker. I missed
Oh my
that.
god. The scene when he's like, will you help me? Like he says his name first, like by
Yeah.
accident.
Oh,
yeah.
That was a great scene.
He goes,
Oh my
will you? Yeah, it's good.
yeah, will you help me, please?
And you
Yeah, I was
actually
like, oh,
liked
man.
that the princess didn't get pissed off by
Yes.
him charading his whole name
Yes,
and
I feel
entire
like-
personality.
Opposite
Because
of the
that's
Ever
where the
After,
rub would
whatever it
be
was.
in every other movie ever made.
Yeah, as soon as she's like, oh, you've lied to me. Now I want nothing to do with you. She was supportive, and then
She was like, well, you did get beat up for me a lot, so we're even.
But I guess in that instance, like the only thing he was he was lying about his origins too. Like his personality, which is what she liked, is still the same. He was just lying.
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't
Only
know.
on
Like
paper.
origins being different. This reminded me of 10 Things I Hate About You, and that he had like kind of a fake persona around
Yeah.
who he really was.
Yeah.
Which this
Filler
is
trope.
this is 3 movies after 10 Things. He did one I'd never heard of, then The Patriot, and this director saw him in The Patriot, not pre-release even, and was like, I want that
Yeah.
guy.
I want
So-
that one.
The Nike swoosh too, being the armorers, the female armorers, like
That's
mark.
her mark.
So
That's
ridiculous.
a bit. I
bridge
feel
too
I
far.
feel to that how you feel about the soundtrack. I'm like, wow, it's better than I guess. Like,
No, they were upside down, and there was 2 of them.
yeah, I don't know. I guess I like it better than it's Nike than if it had been like Uniqlo or something. Like that would have been a little the Adidas logo.
Dude, the scene where his boy comes back after talking.
Well, I was just about to bring that up. When
Sure.
Watt,
Yeah.
he's like, oh, he does love me, and then did she send a token? She did, and Watt kisses him, and he goes, yes, really good. You love to see it. Love to see you gotta kiss your boys.
Yep.
It's good. Now
I don't even know if I should say what I thought the token was going to be. I thought
What?
she was giving him her underwear.
yeah,
That's so weird. About,
the first time I saw it, I
'cause the
thought it was
first
gonna
thing
be
she-
like comedy
Yeah.
polka dot
Yeah.
bloomers.
yeah, because she gave him like a tarp or whatever, like a little sash the
But-
first time. It's like, oh, this time it's like romantic. But no, it was just, I was like, okay, cool, that's probably better.
But it'd be the same reaction, just yes.
He's
Like
reaction, yeah.
a
So
bubblegum
works.
pink Victoria's Secret thong.
They definitely had those in medieval
Yeah.
times.
Well, they had the Nike swoosh too, like and Queen. I don't know. It wouldn't have been outrageous if it had
No,
been that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that this is the first Heath Ledger movie I saw. I saw this before I saw Dark Knight. I've only seen 3 Heath Ledger films: this, Dark Knight, and 10 Things, which is kind of how I would rank them. Not really. Dark Knight is number 1.
Yep.
But I had a very hard time. I still, in fact, have a hard time seeing Heath Ledger. I feel like I brought this up 1,000 times in The Dark Knight, like seeing the Joker as Heath. Like when you look
Yeah.
at, for example, when you look at in 1989's Batman, when you look at that Joker, which is Jack Nicholson, you can see that it's Jack Nicholson behind the prosthetics.
Yeah.
I have a hard time seeing Heath Ledger behind the prosthetics because of this movie. Now, there are things in this movie, like when he smiles, his smile, that's where I'm like, there it is, a little bit. But it's not, I don't know. Is it the prosthetics? Is it his demeanor? Is it the American accent he puts on. I don't
I think it's all of
understand
that.
why my
he's
brain
changing
refuses.
so many things.
Like,
I mean,
him as the Joker, when I look at that, it's one of those rare instances where I don't see an actor. I see the Joker,
yeah.
which has ruined other interpretations of the Joker for me, other live action interpretations of the Joker for me forever. I mean, Mark Hamill is my Joker, man. That's my dog. But Heath Ledger live action, like I see Jared Leto, I want to hit him with a train. I see this Joaquin Phoenix, and it just doesn't sell for me.
I did like Joaquin's.
I haven't seen those movies.
But to your point, yeah, it's just Joaquin Phoenix.
And Joaquin Phoenix is significantly older than
He
I
was
picture
only
the
20.
Joker.
He was only 29
yeah.
when he did that movie. I didn't realize he was so young.
Yeah, he didn't even make it to 30.
That's so sad.
You are as old
Oh,
as
my last
Heath
year.
Ledger. Yep.
Should I overdose?
Yeah. Should I overdose? Don't start method acting.
Yeah.
I really
So
want to.
Yeah, I think
I'll start talking like Elvis.
But I think because of that, I really enjoy this movie beyond what I think this movie deserves to be enjoyed. Because it's Heath Ledger in a lighthearted role, kind of having a good time. And I like that. I like thinking of his work in that light rather than the movie that literally killed him.
yeah.
It's kind of it turns him more into, I don't know if y'all have seen The Crow, but like a Brandon Lee-esque kind of figure. I know that's totally different. Like that was an on-set accident versus an overdose, but we should watch The Crow. It's good.
Never
and then we should,
heard of that?
We should never watch the remake they're making because they shouldn't remake The Crow because wow. No, The Crow is like I don't even know how to describe it. It's a really dark, angsty superhero movie based on a comic. It stars Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son,
Okay.
as a superhero, The Crow. I believe he's dead in the movie and comes back or something. No, that's like
the premise
it's
of the movie.
it's like a premise, yeah. But he, this is a spoiler. He on the set, his character is supposed to get shot, but he's already dead, so it's like a thing or whatever. I haven't seen the movie in 10 years. I saw it after George, my old GameStop manager, learned that I hadn't seen The Crow and said, "You are coming to my apartment tonight," and we watched The Crow until like 1 a.m.
nice.
Anyway, he gets shot with a gun that had a blank in it, but it had been misloaded, so it fired that blank into his abdomen and killed him.
The old Alec Baldwin.
A la Alec Baldwin. It was very similar. So I believe that's the shot in the movie. Or they got his brother to do it. I can't remember.
Is it weird? I'd want to watch the movie more.
No, it's a genuinely good movie that has this big like sheet of sadness cloaked over it because like, man, this is like a huge movie for Brandon Lee, the son of a legend, and he is cut down by a freaking firearms accident.
Jeez.
So yeah, it's a bummer, but that's a good movie, and it's kind of similar thing with the Dark Knight in my brain, although they're not. That's not an equivalent comparison.
Yeah,
However, that's all a bummer. This movie's really good.
yeah, I was gonna say
Not the same tone
I
at
would
all.
agree with you. I'm glad I now have these two movies of Heath Ledger to look back on when you say Heath Ledger instead of just Dark Knight.
Just Dark Knight. This gives me like I really enjoy watching this movie because he seems like he's having a good time. It's a good movie.
I
so
mean,
charming.
everybody seems like they're having a good time.
Right.
I heard that Heath went back and watched this, and it said it was like looking through a photo album. Just like good memories.
Huh.
That's
Aw.
see,
That's nice, kind of having that little. Ray
now I like it
sunshine
even
there.
more. It's like
Yeah.
obviously The Dark Knight is going to be his magnum opus. Like that's what we're gonna know Heath Ledger for because I mean he won a posthumous Oscar for it. But this when I think of Heath Ledger, I see him in A Night Still. I think because like
Well, that's his face and his hair.
exactly,
It's
and,
not.
And
the
I
It seems like the
character.
most like his personality too, just kind of
Yeah.
like a good-natured, charming kid.
I think my rambling for 15 minutes point is that I like this movie more for that.
Yeah. I don't know. This movie really does a good job of balancing like a serious plot line with the music, with the costuming, with lightheartedness, with like you take it seriously but not too seriously.
Yeah.
We're doing dance, we're doing medieval dances and balls and things like that, and then it just threads the line so good.
Here's
It's like
a-
Toes
dancing to
the line,
Bowie
whatever.
too.
Here's a question. What makes because we don't get movies like this anymore. There's two kind of genres that have really croaked, and it is the rom-com and the stupid comedy like this. Like, you know, we got Grown Ups for a while, and we got Paul Blart Mall Cop and Step Brothers rated R. That's kind of a different
Well, I
tier.
think we do get movies like this. They're
all
just
great
they're
to
all
Netflix.
straight to streaming.
and they suck.
Well,
And they're not good.
I just watched one that Santino was in, John Cena, and a
Yeah,
couple,
but that again,
Ricky Stenicki
but got
was
bombed
actually
by critics.
I liked it a lot,
Bombed.
and it reminded me a lot of this movie because it's just kind of like a found family, and it's just kind of like they're making it work, and then they kind of have to like they invite like this guy, and it's like a fake persona kind of thing, and it's like a fake it till you make it. So there's kind of a
Yeah.
similar shared thing. But I really like that movie, and this movie kind of has that same thing where it's just like that kind of fun. Like,
I guess the
dumb humor when it wants to be dumb humor but knows it's dumb.
the movie I've seen, the modern movie I've seen that swung for the fences with this kind of feel, and in my opinion, whiffed super hard was The Machine. And so what makes what's the difference? What makes this movie good? Because The Machine is like, when I was sitting in that theater with you two, I wanted that movie to be good because I like Bart. Like, I think Bert's funny. I have since kind of grown a little weary of the shtick.
A little fatigued.
I've not listened to the podcast every week, you know what I mean? But like, why did that movie fall flat? But A Night's Tale works. Is it? Well, this movie only had.
I almost wonder if it's like allocation of budget because there's
Well,
so
and-
much going into like
or is
the
it
editing.
era? Like, is it? It was the 2000s.
I mean, it also could. It's probably a lot of the acting skill too. Like Bert isn't an actor.
Right.
Mark Hamill though.
Mark Hamill.
Yeah, that's fair.
And other, I mean, the rest of the cast was like, I mean, not A-list, but it's not an A-list movie. But were they treated as A-list movies back then? Like, I just
Probably not. I
It
mean,
was
it has like
23 years ago.
58% on
I feel like
critics.
they're just everything takes itself too seriously now, maybe, or everything's higher stakes because it's more money to
Yeah,
make things.
I
So it's
think
got to work. So more
movies
people get involved, and it becomes.
is
Are
some of
made
it that everything's
too
all
quick.
4K and shiny and
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
too
it's just the way
shiny.
it
They're
looks.
too well lit. They have to be made too fast. Like, and then they have to make big money or get big views, or it's a flop.
Yeah.
yeah.
You
Too
know?
much mass appeal, and like it's a what is it, a horse made by committee is a camel, so it's just
Right.
you're just getting a bunch of camels,
Right, and
because too much input from other people.
And I think some of that, I hope that tide is shifting a bit because, like, for example, I was talking with another film podcast. I wish I could remember what it was called on TikTok. And he was talking about how successful Dune was on what you would think of as a very small budget. I think part 2 was 150 million.
That's it?
That's it. And now
Wow.
Rise of Skywalker was $410 million. And that movie
For what?
not only is a worse movie plot-wise, it doesn't look as good. The Sandworm
That's
looks
insane.
insane. They did practical things though, like the dune that Paul is running on in Dune Part 2 to hook the worm. That's a real dune they built over top of a superstructure, and they actually had the sand drop. Like, they did stuff like that, and it's not all. I just don't know. Like, that's the part of it where I feel like our budgets have ballooned past where creativity can take us. And when you have more
that's
restrictions,
interesting.
you get movies like Inside Llewyn Davis. And that's where, like, the Sundance film has always been considered, I feel like, more artistic than your Scorsese's.
Yeah, like,
and
I went
your
to go
James
see-
Cameron hasn't made a good movie in 1,000
I mean, look at
years.
Truman Show. There's no special effects in that, but that's a groundbreaking story. So it's
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. And, you know, like Steven would say, well, regarding Skywalker, he would say, well, Disney is making Star Wars as a product and Marvel as a product. That is a money machine. So they're going to throw $410 million at it because they know they're going to make $1 billion. They're going to make 950. Whereas Dune, like, I mean, both of those movies combined were half of the budget nearly of Rise, and they're insane.
yeah.
Those are going to be viewed as masterpieces in 10 years. And Rise of Skywalker, like, the sequel trilogy is just, like, only defended by the most hardcore of leftists because they think we hate it because Daisy Ridley's in it, which just isn't true. We hate it
It
because
would
it
be
was
funny if they
written
approached
poorly.
The Knight's Tale with the merchandising as the backbone for the foundation
Right.
of like every decision. It's
And
like, we're
again,
gonna make
like,
Knight's Tale action figures.
Why
so-
is Star Wars good? Star Wars had one actor who was known, and it was Alec Guinness. That's it. Well, Peter Cushing, but who's Grand Moff Tarkin in the original. But it was Mark Hamill had never been known for anything. Carrie Fisher completely unknown. Harrison Ford had only been in American Graffiti,
Which
and he was
bad.
he was a carpenter. And he wasn't brought in to be on the movie. He was brought in to help people line read for auditions. And he had no money. He was late. He was tens of millions of dollars over budget. And it launched an empire that now sadly sucks.
I think the point about mass appeal is a really good. You're trying to, like what Carl said, you're trying to appeal to too many people, so then you just get a blob of nothingness.
And I don't want to be, and I'm not qualified to have any of these conversations. Let's be frank.
We're super and smart.
But
I couldn't decide between smart and intelligent.
on one hand, you don't want to fault a movie for that because you want cinema to be democratized. You want everybody to be able to see it. You want everybody to be able to have an opinion. It doesn't mean I'm going to accept a lot of those opinions. The dog just cranked her out of the microphone. That's what that noise was.
Oh my god, Phoebe.
Jesus.
But were movies always made for? I guess not. Like a lot of directors do it for art. Like Hitchcock wasn't making movies so that everybody liked them. Like he's
Yeah, they just felt compelled to create.
I don't know. I'm not smart enough to. And it's insane that we're having this movie about this conversation about a Knight's Tale.
But why do we love this movie? Like, it's ridiculous. Why do we
doing
love
a
it?
bunch of- It's
And none of
taking a
this-
story that we know and then subverting it with things that we know from our current time. So it's kind of like taking two pieces and mashing them together. But those two choices work. Like they could have done it with like dialogue in a different way. It might not have like if they'd been like talking modern.
Well, and I feel like
been maybe not
too, something that may be carrying a lot of the load here is even though we did not see this movie when we were kids, it feels like the things we were watching when we were kids. I mean, I was 6 years old in 2001. Like I was watching Nickelodeon and Drake and Josh and whatever else, and that this feels like that era, but it doesn't feel like for example, if you were born in the 70s. Or in the 80s, like people born in the 80s that watch Top Gun and love it, like Chris. That dude loves Top Gun because he watched it when he was of a certain age. So maybe those early 90s, late 80s movies don't feel campy to him. They feel like what movies feel like.
Is this, yeah.
And is that like for
But this
us?
definitely felt campy, and I had no reference point, so it wasn't like I had seen it like.
Well, but like Phantom Menace feels campy, but I don't feel like I'm watching a campy movie when I watch it. I feel like freaking Return of the Jedi is more campy than the prequel trilogies feel, even though the dialogue in the prequels is atrocious.
Oh wait,
But it doesn't have
I just got that mixed in my head with Return of the
Strike
King.
that.
No, Return of the
Reverse it.
Jedi. It's like that movie's wow. But the sequel, I don't relate to the sequel trilogy, but maybe kids that are 15 right now are like, that's my stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And whereas I feel like 1, 2, and 3 are my Star Wars in a way. I still prefer A New Hope and Empire. Obviously, I'm not brainless, but I do have 2 Phantom Menace tattoos. I don't know. I don't know what my point is. Cameron, shut up. Hot points?
I have hot points.
Yeah.
I'm really interested.
I mean, you don't have to have a point, but it's just questions to ask and talk about.
I don't want to keep rambling. I feel like I'm doing a Dan Harmon ramble right now, and I don't know
It
enough to be
is-
talking about anything, and yet I won't stop talking. So
Show. Well, I
Maybe,
can.
maybe people know and can comment and let us know why it holds
yeah.
up or whatever.
But for
Let's
now,
know.
let's move this the hell along and get to hot points because I'm very excited about this hot points. Because
Hot points.
before you start, what did you give Heath Ledger in 10 Things I Hate About You?
He got a 10.
A stupid movie that I don't like.
Ooh.
He got
the
10.
same as Sundance.
Yeah.
And
I went back to make sure that the points reflected a 10 and I didn't just go a 10 because you guys made me backtrack those, made me feel bad. But then I was like, no,
Are there 3 10s right now?
there are 3 10s right
What's
now.
the third?
Tim.
Timmy.
He
Timmy.
gets a
In
10.
Dune?
I love
Timmy
him. Yeah,
10.
in
That
Dune.
Wild.
Yeah.
What, not in Wonka?
No.
You didn't like Wonka, right?
No, I didn't really.
There you go.
That was a good movie.
But it was fine. It was a fine movie.
What do you give Wonka out of 10? 5?
8.
5.
Hey, Jesus.
No.
Have
It
you
was
seen Willy
really
Wonka
good.
and the Chocolate Factory?
Yes. It's one of my favorites.
I haven't. Here's my thing with Wonka. I haven't gone back to any of those songs. I listened to like
Was it a jukebox musical? Or?
No, it was
Okay.
original stuff. But I listen to musicals that's pretty much 85% of what I listen to. I haven't gone back to any of
Okay,
them.
so Nick is watching the movie because he likes Willy Wonka, and that's the lens he's seeing it through. You're seeing it through a
that's true.
musical lens, and it's not a good musical.
Ooh,
I-
interesting.
And I think you're right because I haven't even thought to go listen to the soundtrack. Like, it doesn't register as a musical to me.
But the lens, that's so interesting.
Neither does the original.
Wow.
I don't think
The
musical.
original, no, I don't think.
Yeah, but
musical.
you do think, dee doo doo, come with me.
Yeah.
and
But that's
you'll
like
be
one song.
in a world of pure imagination. You can't come on. It's so good. No, because the Oompa Loompa song slaps too.
Yeah, but it's just say, I mean, it slaps, but like,
You don't walk around the house eating chips going Oompa Loompa
I mean-
Doompa dee doo, because
no,
I do.
not necessarily.
Well,
Like you eat more than one chip.
Cameron grabs one Oreo.
I eat one chip and I put the clip on the bag and I go, that's enough. Bag of Lay's lasts me 8 months.
One chip.
I dip it in the salsa, but I don't scoop. I just let the juice hit and then I put it in my mouth and I go, thank you
God.
later. What hot points? How many other movies can we talk about besides The Knight's Tale? Wow, worst
Sure.
podcast ever.
Bow, bow, bow. Hot points. We started at 5 and we add and subtract.
No,
What?
don't do that.
I can do
Nailed
whatever
it.
I want.
I loved it. Keep doing it.
Oh, wow.
All right. Well,
Bringing the iPad back to next week.
oh my gosh. All right. Well, obviously he got a +1 for his accent again because it's hot. So, 6. Then we got a +1 for the sword fight scene when he's in the ring first fighting with his swords. Like
And
that
it's
was pretty
his
hot.
arm doesn't work and he's pissed off, but then it works and he's
Does it all work? Oh yeah, he's having trouble in the
he can't
armor.
lift his shoulder.
Yeah,
with
and
his
then
arm.
he fights back and wins.
Yeah.
So 7. But then we lose one because he gets all pissy with Jocelyn for no reason. You're just a silly girl. Nah.
Well, he's frustrated because he couldn't fight his arch nemesis.
Well,
you
no.
lash out when you're a stupid man.
Well, not hot.
I'm a stupid man. I lash out.
-1.
I'm like, there's no more beard in the house.
So that takes us back to a 6 because not hot. Then he got another
We gotta
+1.
find 4 points somewhere, boys.
We got another +1 for 6. Math is hard, guys.
Not that hard.
The parade through London. He's up on his horse. He's looking noble. He's looking. He's admiring. Like, here, look at me. Here's where I am. I did it. You're waving at me. +1, hot. And then he gets another +1 for being a boss ass guy and fighting without his armor on.
Does he get another +1 for being a good son?
No.
Oh my god, we can't get him to a 10.
Is that
so
hot?
You think,
Wait.
You
There's
think-
one scene when he's freshly shaven and he kind of comes over the horizon and his face comes shining in the sun with a fresh shaven. That's not a hot point. We didn't talk about that scene.
I can't.
I might have been writing something. Here's what I think I wrote down during that scene is that I think Heath Ledger is one of the few men that look better shaved than with a beard. I don't think his beard works for him.
I can't shave. I look 11.
So I might have missed that scene because I was making
Yeah.
that note of he looks better.
It's when he
without
just
the
had a
beard.
glow up. He got a haircut and he's
Yeah.
glistening in the sun.
Yeah.
You'll have to go back and watch it.
I don't know if I can
should.
accept this version of Heath Ledger being less hot than 10 Things I Hate About You.
I'm sorry.
It's a weird one to
But I
terms
can't just throw 2 more points just to get him to a 10.
I actually can't come to terms with that. Or
What about
refuse.
he made up the dance?
That's
He was
still
cool
an-
under pressure.
that's
He
still
can
an
dance.
8.
8's not good enough when you give 10 Things I Hate About You a 10. He just buys a lady a guitar and you're like, 10.
Listen, this is a dictatorship.
Buy me a guitar. We're gonna.
Play music.
This is a dictatorship, so it doesn't matter that you can't accept it because I'm in charge.
That's true. We have multiple dictatorships in this roof.
So can I give both a 10? I don't know.
I find
So that
the
puts him at
10
an 8.
Things I Hate About You, Heath Ledger, visually less attractive than this Heath Ledger.
His
This
hair
guy's literally a
is
knight in shining
darker in
armor.
10 Things.
Yeah, but he
Got
looks
darker
stupid.
hair. He doesn't look stupid.
I
He
don't
looks
like him as-
pretty
he looks
much
too
the
young,
same.
contextually too young. He's in high school. It's creepy.
All right.
I think he pulls off the blonde better.
Yeah, I do too. I even liked the fake dreads. They were working for me. They
No.
weren't working for Danielle.
No.
Those were good.
He was all scraggly. No, not hot.
Scronkly looking.
That's some peasant chaps on.
He didn't look like
Not
him
hot.
though. When he cut the hair, I was like, okay, that looks more
Yeah.
realistic. With the
Yeah.
beard, I was like, who is this guy?
This is California beach bum guy. Who?
Yeah.
Look at what the cat drug in.
Baby.
Phoebe's about to jump off this armrest and kill herself.
Can you put her down so
yes,
she
I'm gonna
can-
put her down now.
So
And
she
then-
can come see.
now
drop
it's
her.
time for hit, miss, or miss, and then to wrap up this
I
meandering
still haven't decided.
mess of a show. Nick will
You
go
haven't
last.
decided?
I want Danielle to go first.
Well, it's a hit.
Why?
Because I really like it. I mean, I think it does its job really well. I think it's great storytelling. I think the music is fun. The performances are great. Everyone seems like they're having a good time. I don't like Jocelyn's costuming, but the rest is good.
No, that's valid.
The sets are good. It feels lived in and
Why
appropriate.
couldn't it have been Scarlett Johansson?
She's pretty hot.
Now, I'm gonna give it a hit. I like this movie a lot. This is one of my favorite early 2000s comedies. It's one of my favorite comedy films. Because I don't know. I saw it at the right time in my life. It speaks to me. It's good. I like the Latin priest guy in the beginning. Makes me giggle. And I like that.
And the after credits. Did you guys watch the after
No,
credits?
I didn't watch that.
Oh my god, yeah. That was
It's just them
tell
farting.
him.
Wow.
It's like what?
That's it.
I think I have seen
It's-
that, but 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like a weird.
This is a good
credit scene.
This is one of the very few movies I would watch again, like not like after a short period of time, but this falls into comfort movie territory for me. And that
Yeah.
is extraordinarily rare. Like really only Star
It's a
Wars
good
and
comfort
Smokey
movie.
and the Bandit have comfort movie status, and I think I would add
Smokey.
A Night's Tale to that. Like if I'm not going to watch a Star Wars movie right now, I'm going to put Smokey and the Bandit on, but I would maybe consider adding this. Now, Carl, because Nick has to go last because he's doing a think, thank, thunk about his hit, miss, or miss. So
This is a hit for me. I am.
I don't have the
just
siren for the
thrilled, like that. I actually was excited to watch a movie and it like lived up to expectations. So this was.
Aw.
I was very excited.
We didn't
yeah.
mention you and Nick are the virgins for this movie. Neither of you had
Yeah.
seen it.
And I was kind of like, how are they gonna toe that line of it doing because they like right off the bat drop into that "We Will Rock You," and I'm like, okay, we're just ripping that Band-Aid right off. Here we go. So, like, but yeah, and you had mentioned earlier kind of how the ball in the air of like, is he gonna get caught? Isn't really a high stakes kind of piece of the movie until that last little bit. So you kind of get to enjoy the ride of
It's
the
in the
movie
very,
without having
very
that kind
back
of
of your
an
head.
anxious thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's never like a big thing until the very end. So it's like, I don't know. For me, it let me enjoy the fun of the movie.
There's no shots of like people poking from behind trees when someone calls them Will.
Like, I thought he said, yeah, right. And I liked how like within the Found family, there was not really any infighting except for with like Jeff and the other guys. Just,
Wad,
like,
yeah,
banter.
like-
And they end up like becoming friends in the end anyway. So it's just kind of like to play off that payoff. But yeah, it was just like, it's just a really positive movie overall. So
It's a
it's got like
feel-goody.
a nice message and yeah, it's funny. It
gives
feels
the-
timeless in a weird way.
Right.
And like in that it's so timely or so timeful that it's timeless. Like it does a weird balance act there.
Instead of
But
the Carl,
So
it's-
timeful.
It's of
but
its
it's timeless.
it's of its era, and yet
Yeah.
it endures.
yeah. Yeah.
All right, have you had enough time to think
No, I
over
have.
there?
I have come to a decision. It's a hit.
Good, you can continue.
I can't believe were you thinking mid?
I was.
Why even consider
why?
mid? That's
Yeah.
Let's go there.
I don't.
Not that we're gonna beat you up. Like what?
Maybe we are.
We'll thong you.
I'm going to fong you.
So much pain.
I don't know. Because the more I sit
it
here and
like-
think about it, like
Is the
it's,
soundtrack really just that much of a thorn in your shoe? Thorn in your shoe. New colloquialism just
thorn
dropped.
in your shoe. I think it did throw me
Pebble-
off.
Is it a pebble in your side?
Oh no.
Thank you.
Oh boy.
I, was
I
like,
needed
what did he mix there?
somebody to mix it up and not to drink. Go ahead. Speak.
Oh
speak.
God, I've lost train of thought. No, I think the music
Soundtrack
definitely
you.
threw me off.
And it
But
took you time
Because,
to
like, it-
recover. Like
the movie takes itself serious, but not too serious. But it still takes itself serious.
so, all right. You turn
So
the
the-
movie on. Queen starts playing. A man does a guitar solo out of a horn. how long did it take for you to lock in? At what point of the movie did you start? Did you kind of like the borders of the television screen disappear and you're locked?
Probably around when they're training out in the.
So not far.
Not
it
long.
Took you 10 to
So
12
Lowrider?
minutes.
Not long. It's not the. I feel like I'm talking bad about this movie now. It just wasn't the tone I was expecting from the movie. I thought it was going to be more of a serious medieval.
That might be on
Type
me for
movie.
prepping you bad. Maybe.
Well, I didn't really have any reason to think that. Like I didn't know much about the movie.
Yeah, because
But,
even
no,
in
I-
Sword Month, the two of the other movies are lighthearted. Like,
Yeah.
we're doing one
Bless.
drama.
We needed a break from dramas.
We're doing one drama.
We can do
3-hour
serious
movie.
sword month next, like in a couple months.
Serious Sword Month.
Yeah.
Sword Month 2, this time.
It's
Serious.
But no, I think the movie was
Sword Month with a vengeance.
was really well written. Yeah, it was good. I liked it. It was a hit.
Sword Month Strikes Back.
Sword Month.
Sort of.
So that's 4 hits. That's a banger. Everybody loved it.
Hey,
Yay.
yay.
I was a little scared, but not really, because it's a good, fun movie. Again, it reminds me of Shrek tonally. It's a good film.
Sure.
Yep.
I didn't realize those came out at the same time.
Yeah,
That's
both 2001.
Really crazy. Like really doing the same kind of thing, like subverting a fairy tale genre.
Yeah. Do we have any more fun
There was
facts?
a
Anything
lot
on
of
that?
subverting fairy tale drama in that time.
Anything else to say? I know you were writing some stuff down.
I was writing some stuff down. I think I'm good.
All right. Should we?
I was gonna say a fact, but I can't do it with a straight face.
The
So
very
I'm gonna
end,
not.
when the guy falls on his back, I thought it looked weird, right?
Well, because he's floating.
he's like
'cause it's-
kind
he falls, and then
hallucination.
it's like one of those.
okay.
I don't even know. A hallucination, I guess, is a good way to say it. But like, he
Just
gets
a
his
vision.
bell runged and he imagines his
Okay.
defeat in a dramatized way, and then we get the real version.
I thought we were looking at him and like we were gonna zoom out and he was gonna be like impaled
On the lance? Yeah.
hovering on something. And I was like,
Oh.
oh, he's been like skewered and that's why it looks so weird. And like
That's
but
the
no, he just was
weirdest
on his
choice
back.
in the whole movie. That one's a little hard to come to terms with.
Yeah, they do that weird kind of glow out, like sepia washout kind of fade, and then they come back in and they do it again with the thing. It was
'Cause
a
we
weird
do-
kind of editing choice.
We
but
do get the super bright like flashback kind of deal at least two other times previously, but it reads differently in that context. I don't know. I don't
When he-
like that decision either.
When he gets hit,
Yeah.
yeah.
When he gets hit and the stocks guy is like, you can't change your stars, whatever. And then there's another one where, he's riding into the town and sees himself on the same stocks.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's one more too.
like
I can't remember. So, yeah.
It was good.
It's your turn, I think.
Are
I
we
picked
taking
last time?
turns?
Yeah, you did.
Sick.
Pick a film.
Give it a shove.
There's 3 movies in the bucket. One for
draw
each
your sword.
sword. One sword for each
Oh
of us.
baby.
What'd you pick?
This week we are watching Gladiator.
Damn it.
Damn it.
Oh no.
We just
I wanna
said
see it.
not serious, and we picked the serious.
So,
Psych.
all right. Who has seen this movie?
Nope.
no.
Oh.
This is why you.
Have you? Have
This
you?
is why you picked it.
I have seen this movie.
I have.
Now,
All I know is when we watched 300, every person I told that we watched 300
Should've
was
watched
like,
this.
why didn't you watch Gladiator instead?
I do think that we watched these in the wrong order. I think 300 might be a little more enjoyable once you've seen Gladiator, because 300 is like, what
Just
if
rewatch it.
Gladiator was dumb as hell?
I'd rewatch it.
Now, this movie
300's a lot of fun.
is Russell Crowe
Mm-hmm.
and Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh.
It is Joaquin Phoenix is so good in this movie.
Give it a goog.
Don't give it too much of a goog, because the ending, there are so many spoilers. Like, probably don't look up anything.
I just got a Jeep Gladiator, so
There you go. So, late 90s, this movie came out in. It's so good. Now, for Danielle's sake, it is a bro-ish movie in a way. It is not Neanderthal knuckle-dragging, club-wielding like 300 is.
Ugh.
This movie has
300 was trash.
a plot because it's not really based on historical
He admits.
context like 300 is based on historical events, and all of the good lines from 300 were actually said by Spartans at Thermopylae, which is awesome.
I'm a Spartan. I'm in my undies.
Hey, sometimes you just want to watch ripped Michael Fassbender swing a sword around.
Everything's
and have a good
gray.
time. It's a good movie.
He's got so many teeth.
You guys just don't have the refined palate for
No.
for cinema
Oh,
False.
that Carl Craig and I have.
False.
I see
fake
you are a
news.
man of culture.
Yes.
Big news.
Look, an artist among us agrees with me. Carl makes eggs. Gladiator's really good. It does have some intense scenes that I would prepare yourself for. But this is a drama film. It is an action film. It has love stories in it. It is really a man overcoming impossible odds. It's amazing. This movie is amazing. I have no withholdings about stating that. It's going to be very good. It's probably long as hell.
Of course.
I don't really remember. I'm going to Google Gladiator runtime.
Yeah, you should do that, not me.
Yes, I will. 2.5, 2 hours 35. So 15 minutes longer than what we just watched.
Yeah.
Came out in 2000. It is a Ridley Scott movie. There is an extended version that's 2 hours and 50. I don't know if
We're
we
not
need to watch
Yeah,
that.
which cut are we
We'll just
watching?
watch the theatrical
We'll
cut.
figure. Well, just the regular one.
The regular theatrical cut. Man.
And some of the cuts, he's not a gladiator, is what I've heard.
Ooh.
Depending on how
Yeah,
you
he's
watch it.
actually in the Matrix. Now, that's that.
Yep.
I guess we're going to wrap this shit up and get a move on. I want to watch some Top Gear in bed. So we're going to watch Gladiator. I hope you enjoy it. If not, we will talk about why you didn't enjoy it. If you're listening, get in the Discord. We hang out. We talk about food. We talked a lot about food today. Food, movies, the episode. Nick's
Whatever.
new
Honestly.
5,000-pound Roomba car, and whatever else. Say hi to Carl in Discord. Follow us on TikTok while it still exists. On Instagram, we're on Threads. We don't use it because Threads is dumb.
We're on freaking X. We should delete that.
We should delete it. I never wanted to be on X in the first place. But
Sorry.
Nick is a bigot, and he loves Elon Musk.
Wow.
Wow.
Don't clip that, please.
It stays in. Yeah, we're going to watch Gladiator. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you in the next one. Leave it.